Welcome back to another episode of the School of Byzantine Music of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America Foundations of Hymnology podcast. I am the co-host for today's episode. Joining us for the first time, we have another one of our esteemed faculty members, Dr. Eleftherios Chasanidis. And we are going to be doing something a little bit different from the past however many episodes we have had. We have offered a good amount of information kind of one way, one presenter each time, some recordings of lectures, live, but we have recently been afforded, those of us on the faculty and some other chanters across the United States, the ability to go study for a diploma exam in Greece. And I thought that it would be a nice thing to do to kind of record how two high-level chanters, teachers of the School of Byzantine Music, would practice together. And in fact, if any of my students think I am high-level, this will prove you wrong, that Dr. Eleftherios is a much higher level than I am. By way of reintroduction, of course, I am Father Panayiotis Steele, and I have been studying Byzantine music formally and informally, off and on, for about 27 years. I've had several different teachers, all from good backgrounds, Mr. Stelios Koudakiotis, Dr. Romanos Karanos, and of course our esteemed Archon Gregorios Theodoridis. I sat for my certificate exam at Hellenic College Holy Cross in 2018, and I then abandoned the life of a chanter to become a priest. I went to seminary right after that. But I never lost the love for the Byzantine music, for our ecclesiastical psaltic art, and so here I am, a member of the faculty. But the one we have joining us is quite a rare person in at least the Anglophone Byzantine chant world. Dr. Eleftherios Chasanidis is a relatively new faculty member, but he brings a great deal to the table, and I'll let him elaborate a little bit on that before we kind of lay out how we're going to practice a somewhat advanced piece. We've picked something that can still fit into a podcast episode, Parallagi and Melos, but something that we can really sink our teeth into as someone who's practicing to sit for an advanced diploma exam and someone who already knows what went into that. So, Dr. Eleftheria, please introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you so very much for having me, Father Panayiotis. It's a true honor and pleasure. Thank you very, very much. I'm Eleftherios the Chasanidis. I come from Thessaloniki, Greece. I was born and raised there. I did my bachelor's degree in Greece in violin performance initially, while also studying in Greece, and I got my diploma in Byzantine chant quite early. My teacher was my father, Ioannis Chasanidis, and I've been here in the United States for 9 years. I did my master's in voice performance. I did an art certificate in voice and a doctorate in voice. And I'm very fortunate to be in New York. I'm the protopsalis of the National Greek Orthodox Archdiocese and Cathedral of the Holy Trinity. And I'm very happy to be with you. I have also a background in opera, because that's what I studied when I was studying voice. I've done 25 roles professionally. I have sung at Carnegie Hall as a soloist. And I just came back literally Sunday morning, 6 a.m. with a red eye from the West Coast, where I had a tour with an esteemed group named Capella Romana, where they're Grammy nominated. They're fantastic. And we just did a program there about living memory. That was the name of the program.
Wonderful.
And very happy to be with you and to share anything I can share to help with your preparation for the diploma in Greece.
Thank you. Thank you. So, for those of you listeners, that background in vocal performance, technical, professionally trained, at a professional level currently, 25 roles as an opera singer, married with the deep expertise and deep traditional rooting, because your father is also a well-known chanter. That is what I think is the most unique thing, or if not unique in the United States, then certainly very rare. And that's why, for at least, if we're going to make this a series, The Road to Diploma, I thought you would be a great first foil for me. So Dr. Eleftherios is going to be taking more of the teacher role, because I'm the one who's studying, and so he will give me.
We're both students here.
We are both students of the Psaltic. You can never stop being a student of the Psaltic art. But
I have to
yeah,
tell you, I want to share something about that. You know, while I was studying in Greece, we have this big exam finishing high school that takes you in order to get to college, to get to study in a university. And I remember myself like putting a lot of hours in and studying every day, day and night. And as everyone does, because it's very difficult, those exams, Panellini's as we call them.
yeah, yeah,
And I remember I would sit on the table, and my father would be next to me studying every day. And he would study and he would write music, because he is also a composer. He has written like parapolis, like a lot of pages, like we're talking about like on the thousands. And he would be studying next to me every day. He's not young, like he's very experienced, and he would still do that.
yeah,
And he still like studies every
yeah,
day, every day.
yeah,
And we're talking about 3-4 hours every day.
yeah. Μακάρι να είχα 3-4 ώρες.
Yeah,
May it be blessed that I would have 3 or 4 hours to study Byzantine
yeah.
music.
He was
If I'm,
also, yeah, he was also like an elementary school teacher. He
yeah,
retired from that, and at 67, I think, 65, somewhere there. I don't remember exactly. And like putting the work in and doing it and over. And one time I remember I asked him like, you've chanted this a million times. What are you doing? Like, you know this. And he goes and he tells me, every time I study it, I find something new.
yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
oh wow, like, because you never stop. The more you grind, the more you're gonna get. And it's interesting. And I see the same thing in opera, like in operatic roles, like in operatic singing and arias. The more you study, the deeper you get into the text, the more things they kind of like unravel, like the curtain goes little by little every time a little bit further, and it never stops. It never, even things that you have chanted 100 times,
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, the musical art.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So we've picked a piece here. Dr. Eleftherios ratified my choice. This is the Kinonikon, the communion hymn of a weekday liturgy on Mondays. The classical communion hymn, Opiontus Angelus, he who makes his angels, and the rest of the verses, flames of fire. I'm sorry, he who makes his angels ministers, and his Opiontus Angelus αυτού πνεύματα και τους λειτουργούς αυτού, and I'm sorry, he who makes his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. His liturgists, literally, a flame of fire.
Alleluia.
Alleluia, yes. And, well, between that and the Alleluia, we have a little surprise for you advanced folks. So we'll start off, and before I do a single note of Parallagi, in your expertise, Doctor, how should I warm up? I mean, I have given recommendations to my students to do various vocal exercises if they're trying to expand their range. Some people who are coming in as amateurs, sometimes they only have an octave or octave plus one range, and that's a little bit difficult, especially for a piece like this. How would you recommend to really, as maybe a general warm-up or even specifically for something like this, to warm up?
Yeah, yeah. So you have to think about it, first of all, like on a practical scale, where would you chant this in a church? This piece goes, I think, from lo zo to high pa. Maybe if you do like a little bit of an ornament, you can go like a high vu sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's the general range of it. I think it goes lo zo up high pa around there. And well, you have to consider first of all what kind of where's like your good range, what they call in classical singing the tessitura, your easy range, where you don't have to extend too far. Because if something like goes a little too high and you can't push there, it's gonna ruin your voice.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have to be careful with that. First of all, it's better to pick something up that it does not go to the limits, to your upper limits all the time. It just passes and it comes back. Than taking something, it's better to use like to go a little bit lower than that. And it's easier like if something goes all of the lower parts, they're like easy usually.
You really,
like
it's like a transient. It's a transient zol, right? You're not going to like stay down. Yeah. Maybe there's one. I don't. It's been a while since I studied this piece, but
yes,
you know,
in general, though, it's better like to have not the best vocal quality on your lower part, and not to sacrifice the top part. That's what I'm trying to say. Like keep your top like nice,
because you're musically. That's the climax, the high points of the piece. Yes. Quite literally, the climax.
Yes.
If I recall correctly, in this piece,
what to sacrifice between those two, I would.
Yeah.
But in that case, like that piece, is not like that huge of a range. It's it's okay. So to warm up, you have to consider like when I start in the church in the morning. I know people who warm up just by reading the 6 Psalms, the Exapsalmos. The way they read helps them like find the right placement they need to have, and not to push their voice. But even if you don't know how to read and you have a reader, which is good for you, you're lucky. Not all chanters have a second chanter, first of all. So having a reader is a luxury. A reader is easier to find though.
Well, but a good reader, you have to train them to do that, because what you said was very profound, actually, if they know how to read. This is not a throwaway joke, ladies and gentlemen. There's a particular way. If you look, one of the blessings that we have in this technological age, double-edged sword, but for us students of Psaltiki, we can hear from great centers all over the world what it means to actually read ecclesiastically. We should do a whole study on that. That's not something that's going to be on the road to diploma, but it is a lot less like reading the newspaper or reading an announcement dramatically, and a much more kind of, if not monotonic, then di or tritonic. Da 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 da. and that's what that cadence and the kind of dropping off at the end of the sentence helps you warm up, if I'm correct, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you are moving only a little bit your voice in the very middle of your range. You're kind of like...
Yeah, you can say it's kind of like doing a little bit of ison for a little bit.
Yes.
In terms of like how you kind of have to hold something, and it's going to help you find the right placement where you should
Yeah.
where you should put your voice, so your voice does not like just all over the place. This you can, if you find someone who can do that, is excellent.
Yeah.
But even like reading, like if you read well, you kind of warm up your articulators. You don't have to, you're not like mushing them, which is very, very important for chanting, because when you have to sustain like a vowel, but it needs to be the same vowel throughout, you have
It has
have
to be
like
the
a little
same
bit of,
mouth shape throughout.
yeah, you have to have a
Yes.
little bit of a control about what's going on, so you don't like chew it up, or you have uniformity in general, so the sound is like round and nice.
Right.
So
So,
in
yeah.
case you have like to start, even if you don't have a reader, I usually when I start, I take like the Theos Kyrios, God is the Lord. I try to take it a little bit lower for my voice, so I can warm up with that. And like during the orthros, I choose to be a little bit lower, and then during the Divine Liturgy, I usually have maybe a half step to natural, or sometimes even a little higher if it's a Plagal fourth, and I feel like well warmed up. I might take a step higher than it's supposed to be. Usually, like Plagal fourth is on a C, but I try to do like maybe on a D if I'm well warmed up and I have like I'm in a good shape too, because it's also about how you go through the service, because your stamina needs to be really put together. Like you need to have really good stamina. Means that like you cannot push, you cannot like shout. You have to have like a good
Yeah.
a good sound, and very round. You don't have to overdo it.
If you push and shout Doxastikon, you're never going to get to the Kinonikon with energy.
Allah, you're gonna be
You-
out.
You're going to be
You're gonna
finished.
be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and vocal production is a very important topic, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of material out there. I want to at some point. I want to write something about it, about like vocal technique, about Byzantine chant, which there's not
Yeah.
anything out there. I want at some point to write a book about it,
Yeah.
about like at least the basics. So
And
people.
when I was learning, I don't know how it was with your father, but none of my teachers really did any formal study of that. It was learned through emulation, right? And then when we were in seminary, I had to take voice lessons because we want our priests to actually be minimally able to get through a service musically. They're not chanting, but they're doing petitions. So that one, or actually a year of short voice lessons really helped me out. Nothing like what you have done, but this sustainability and to learn how to use your instrument actually, like formally, instead of just trying to figure it out through emulating, was very useful.
Yeah,
So what I'm hearing is basically at the beginning, start basically at a natural tone, which is maybe the midline of where you speak, or
when you say
maybe,
natural, what do you mean?
well, that's a very good question.
Because natural
What?
can be in
Yeah.
our
Yes.
stuff.
So
Natural can mean many different things.
yes. Let's back up. Let's back up. So when you said natural, I think what you meant was ni as middle C.
Yes.
Yes, right.
So
So what I
for
meant
this,
was more like, how do you, like, what feels natural to your voice
yeah,
at that moment?
I I I
Yeah.
don't want to have the people misunderstanding that. So
Yes. Yes.
sometimes I
Yes.
say what feels easy.
Yeah. That's a good.
What
That's a
feels
good. Yeah.
easy.
What
Yeah.
feels
What
easy.
feels
So
in that sense of natural. What feels like comfortable.
yeah. So we can say you start at what feels comfortable,
Yeah.
and this is not 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm not starting orthros. So at this
Yeah.
time of day, that is probably nipa then I
Okay.
think, as you said, um, if I were to be warming up, maybe I would do something like that.
As
I'm
a
already
warm
kind
up.
of warmed
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
something like that to kind of stretch a little bit, and
Yes.
then to also keep posture, right? I'm sitting down right now, but I'm trying the best I can to have a strong column so that I
Yeah.
can still produce from the diaphragm.
Yes.
We can,
The most important thing is like, and I say this because it's also there's something that it's easy to fix. You don't have to do a lot of things. Is having maintaining a good posture when you chant, when you sing, you're not like leaning like that or like
yeah,
doing like that.
yeah,
Have a good posture, like really sets up the system to work for you. So you
right.
don't have to worry about breath pressure and everything kind of like lines up.
And
This is
that's
very, very
really
important.
that's really what, after you kind of get used to it, because if you're not used to doing this, it's if you're used to
Yeah,
chanting just with your throat, it's strange. But after you do that, that's really, you're kind of offloading a lot of the stamina work to all the bigger muscles that can support you,
yeah,
if
yeah.
I understand it correctly.
Another thing that is important, like after you take have a good posture, is breathing a little bit deeper, learning like how to do a little bit of diaphragmatic breathing before even phonating, before even chanting, just a little bit to relax your body, to have a calm nervous system.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. Like people when they don't know how to do some things, like their nervous system jumps in and they have tension. So you have to just be relaxed. You just this is a study session, like even in the church. So you have to be so well read. So you have to study that much that you don't feel that this is something
Yeah.
unfamiliar. You just feel that this is something that you know, and you have to trust the process. And the work you have done at home will kind of like help you do it. It's
Yeah.
gonna it's gonna strengthen you. It's gonna support you.
And at the acme of that, I must say, as a priest, that the acme of that, like, you've studied so much that you're not this, the lack of study is not an impediment to you being present and relaxed in the moment. The acme of that is actually being able to pray while you are chanting,
Absolutely.
right? So if everything there is in harmony and you're not struggling to try to figure out what you're supposed to be chanting, either
Yeah.
melody or words, if you're not struggling with your body, if you're just there and you're locked in and it's the practice is the basis, then the prayer can actually come through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's also one more thing. Um, you have to be humble. You have to be, when you chant, you're not there to show us how beautiful is your voice. You're there to praise God and to give glory to Him first. And that's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
so if the moment you try to show off, the moment you try to do something like that, it feels empty. And it's also understood. It's perceived that
Yeah.
this kind of like feels more like noise,
A
doesn't feel like
performance.
actual
Yeah.
prayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say this um, even in the Western music, like even in opera, if I just go on stage, kind of stand and I sing, "I love you," and it's like empty, it's kind of like no one cares. And if you say it with real emotion and real passion through, because you're living at the shoes of a character at the moment and you're performing, this is powerful. And it's
Yeah.
something that I also consider it to have a similar function because it needs intention, and
Yes.
everything that needs intention, it's heart. The moment the heart is away, then it kind of like it doesn't. It feels very technical, and it doesn't feel that it's really working and happening. And on stage, like if you are not there, it doesn't have an impact. Like if and I saw this one time. I saw a performance, and someone was singing a very famous aria. Uh, I cannot recall right now the name of the aria, which I thought like at the end, oh, we're gonna hear that so wonderful, and everyone's gonna clap, and it's gonna be amazing. And the guy was disconnected,
It was just
and
dry.
it was he did it. Okay,
Yeah.
like imagine like if it has an impact. on a secular level,
Yeah.
where you don't have like you're not present at the moment in the church on the house of God and you're singing first to God and glorifying Him.
Yeah.
Imagine like in a house, in an operatic house, which is not that primary function, primary
Hmm.
purpose, and it had an impact. Imagine like how much
Yeah.
more important that is in the church.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, and I hope even if someone doesn't want to hear anything else, just take that.
Well, these are, I mean, and what we're going to do next, the kind of nitty gritty is important, but it's nothing without this type of preparation. So
Yeah,
this is the warm up, and it was a good kind of discussion about the warm up of the body, but also of the heart and the soul. This is,
yeah,
if you're not warming that up, if you're not ready to be there, and you're not doing that with intention, then you might as well kind of like
absolutely,
uh, go
absolutely.
back and practice some more.
Yeah, and I've
Not to,
noticed that the
yeah.
difference also. Sorry, that's the last thing. I'm sorry, I cut
It's
you off.
it's all right. It's good.
And I also seen that like being during the week or during church is not only Sunday. Like praying is not only for Sunday.
Yeah.
Like even during the week, you have to prepare yourself. The
Hmm.
more it's
Yes.
kind of like being on a track and field.
Yeah.
Imagine me going like every Sunday to go run. If I hadn't run all the week and go run, I might do okay.
Yeah.
But most likely I'm not gonna take first place or second place or whatever.
Yeah.
But I might do okay. If I have practiced during the week and if I have done like every 2 days, I go run track and field to get in shape and to be fit, then I'm gonna do much better. This is like
Hmm.
logical things.
Yeah.
The prayer has a similar effect. How you can pray to God, how you can to be present in your prayer and to glory and to praise God, even on your personal time, your private time. It keeps the connection, keeps you warm, keeps you ready,
Yes. Exactly.
keeps your soul like it's kind of like a lit candle.
Hmm.
It's much easier to light a candle that's already pre-lit, and
Yeah.
the how do you call this
The
the
wick.
little thing
The wick.
the wick is kind of like black and because
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
lit before. It's
Yeah.
much easier to light this up than lighting a fresh one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm
This is all
sorry.
very good. Yeah.
It's
It's very
important.
good.
It's
We should have
important.
a podcast just on that.
I can talk about this for hours.
Yeah. We could.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back at my let's say comfortable
Yes.
note, my comfortable pitch. Nipa. So we were saying what I would do was kind of check. All right, so I know the range here is going to be high pa, maybe vu, if I really want to do something spicy up top. To zo pa, so I check pa ni zo. Okay, I get that easy. Pa vu ga. This is first mode, by the way. That's why I'm starting on pa.
Mm-hmm.
Pa vu ga di ke zo ni pa vu pa. I think I'm okay. I think when I get to that vu, I started slouching a little bit, so I will have to, you know,
Yeah.
shore up.
If we're practicing, I wouldn't take it there. I would take
Yeah.
it a little lower, personally.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because when you have to practice
Ni
something, you might have to do.
pa ni zo ni pa vu ga di ke
Yeah.
zo ni pa vu pa. Yeah. So
To be
then,
easy,
yeah.
because for practicing, especially like when you go, when you work so much, like your middle range and your low range is a little more comfortable in general because
Hmm.
you don't have to shout out, you don't have to do anything. And since practicing requires like some places to go over and over and over and over to get it exactly how you
Yeah.
want it,
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But that's also personal.
No, I get it. That makes sense to me. Yeah,
Yeah,
because again, the lower part of the range is kind of transient, and
yeah,
it's really you're going to be working the piece they from ga to pa basically.
yes,
That's where the money is, so to speak. Ni pa ni so ni pa.
yeah. That's
Okay.
an easier base.
All right. Parallagi. And feel free to stop me at any point, and I will stop if I've made a mistake, right? That I know, but we'll see how I do with the parallagi. Pavukadikavu pavupanijoni pavuga pavung gadike gadizigaga. Oh, see, I made a mistake. Digadigagavung Gavudigagavupa Vuvugagavuvugavupa Nipavugapa Vugavupa Vudigavugavupani Vupavugagadigavuvupanipa Didigadi Kezo Kedigagavu Gadike Gadigavu Gadiga Vugavupa Vuvupa Vugagavu Gadigadi Kezo Kedigavu Digagavu Gadi Digavupam Vugadike Digadi Kekedigavupam Digadigagavuvupavu Gagadigavuvupa Kekezodike Zoni zoni pani zoni ni 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 zo 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 ke zo zo ni ni zo zo ni zo ke zo 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 ke di ke zo zo ke zo ni zo zo ke zo ni zo ke digon digaga dike ni zo ke digavuga dike diga vu diga vu pani pa padi ke zo ke diga vu di ke di gadi gadi ke zo ke zo ke di ke zo ke di ke di ga di ke di ga di ke zoni zo ke zoni zon ni zoni zo ke zoni zo ke zo ke di και ζω και ζω δι και βουγαδι γαβουδι γαβου γαβου παβου γαδι γαβου παβου παπανι παπαβου παπανιζο ni. I should have done ke here. I thought this is where we might be going up all the way.
Okay.
Let me start here again with ke.
Or you can continue from here with
ke ke di ga di ga vu ga di ga di di.
Here's a little different. Ke di ga di ga vu.
Gavuga. Oh, yeah.
That's a tricky spot.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it. This is another point, right? When you're studying at this level, you have this experience of the thesis, this catalog,
Or like
and
in the beginning, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Because the one you didn't, because I was like, yeah, that's normal. Like,
yeah,
normally your brain will go there.
yeah. But this is a perfectly acceptable alternate thesis. So this is why we do Parallagi, so that we can iron these things out. Like, this is actually the thesis that I need to do in Melos, and not accidentally make it is a minor mistake. It's not going to get me to the wrong martyria, but it's not what Petros wrote, right? Well, none of this is what Petros wrote, really, but this old notation. But it's not what they transcribed is what he wrote. So ho was ke, right? Ke, ho, oh, ke, yeah, ke, di ga, vu ga, di ga, di, ke, di ga, vu. Τι έκανα τώρα? What did I do? Και διγα βουγα διγα δι και διγα βουγα βου. I think this was actually a the.
This one?
Oh, the.
Και διγα δι πα βουγα δι και διγα διγα βουγα. Am I doing it now?
You are. No, you got it.
Maybe it's a mistake on the book, this one, actually. I don't know.
Let's go from here and see.
Yeah, let's go from Petros. Yeah.
Ζωνη πανίζω πανιζωνίζω και ζωνη πανίζω και δι και ζω και. So it must be a mistake.
Yes, there's one more apostrophe.
Oh, here. It's here. Right?
This one?
That if this is an apostophos on this o at the beginning of the line, it doesn't have anything,
okay.
Then it's a the and everything works out.
Maybe we should, how do we do that here? I'm gonna add it manually.
Yeah,
because there is a no without a...
Yeah.
So that's probably an apostrophe, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. This one? I think I have to do this one. Oh no, I have to do black one, right? So it's this. So I don't know what's going on. Can you do this?
I don't know. Is this... Oh, what just happened?
What? Let's see.
It switched tools on you.
I don't know, but yeah, imagine there is an apostrophe here.
We'll imagine it. Zo from Petros. Zoni panizo panizon. Sorry, oh, that was right. Panizonizo kezoni panizo kezoke didiga didike ke didigavu gavu pavu gavu ga ga di ga vu pa vu pa ga di ke zo ke di ga di ke ga di ke zo ni zo ke di ke zo ni ke zo di ke zo ni zo ke di ga di ke ga di ke zo ke di ga di ke ga vu pa ga di ke di ke zo ke di ga di ga di ke ga di vu pa ni pa vu pa.
Okay, nice, very nice. So, do you want to try to work on it now, phrase by phrase, like in so because of
Yeah,
time, maybe we can just go to Melos. Is that okay?
yeah.
All right. So,
Let's do a pass on Melos, and because of the length of the podcast, we don't necessarily need to get into every phrase.
okay. So
Just
let's
save
start.
some material for next time.
Yeah. We can
But
start with
certainly we're
introduction.
gonna
Yeah.
some good phrases. Whatever you pick, we can gonna get deep into some of them, so that
Yeah.
they can see, so that our listeners can see, how is it that we really drill into these things?
Okay. So
Because
start from
remember,
the beginning.
I'm seeing this piece again. Not that I've never chanted this before, but I've been a priest now for going on 5 years. I haven't studied this piece for, let's say, at least that long. So it'll be somewhat vanilla in comparison to what you could do with a really good study of it.
Yeah.
Ni papa na opion tus
Okay. Start from the beginning again. Now let's work on that. That's the introduction for the whole piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Opio
first of all, with your E is a little bit too tight. You go O-P, O-P, O-P-on.
So
Same way you would say
bigger.
O-P-on. Yeah, keep the
Opion.
space open. Yeah, and
Okay.
unlock a little bit your molars
Jaw.
right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. O-P-O. Oh,
This
so
is
it's
one thing
like
that
that.
our archon told me to do. We go stretch out your mouth.
Yeah, a little bit, because you close a little bit too much
Yeah.
space, and we don't get to enjoy your sound.
It's
So
true. I've always had a problem with this.
yeah.
This
So
is this is something that high stress personalities do. So if you have that, massage back here, massage your jaw, try to really stretch it out.
absolutely,
Be
absolutely.
intentional about
Yeah,
big mouth, right? Like
yeah. You can go from O just by moving a
yeah,
little bit your tongue, like
yeah.
literally. And if you put your hands right here and you put it like this, O, the minimum of the movement you need. And try to do it. Try to do it again.
Okay. Opium.
Okay. Now one more thing. Now your O got buried a little bit backward.
It did. Yeah.
OPO. OPO means that like you have to keep your throat relaxed and open, and don't try to it's everything is on the bottom. Then it's kind of like
Was the
Listen,
O was the O good before I tried to change the E?
the first one was a little better, but still needs a little
Yeah.
bit of work. Because I feel like we learn by mimicking our mimic ability. Like that's how we learn to speak. That's how we learn a lot of things. We have the sensitivity when we hear someone to feel or to understand how they're doing it. It's kind of when you watch a movie and you see people like diving, you take you're holding your
Yeah, yeah,
breath
yeah,
while
yeah,
they're
yeah.
diving, right? Why are you doing that? Like you're not, because we have like the good empathy. When we feel someone is going through something, or
Yeah.
that's also a tricky word in English, because in Greek empathy means like when you you feel like
Empathia to come
yeah,
to bring their
I
problems to
think
them.
it's an opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's also the concept of mirror neurons, right? Like you have this unconscious mental ability to just mirror,
yeah,
as I
yeah, yeah.
understand.
So if you feel opio, it's kind of like this feeling. The person who's
Yeah.
listening will kind of like not feel as relaxed as they could, in a sense. And it's
Yeah.
true when you hear someone like struggling to chant, and someone who's chant like Stelios, for instance, Kondakiotis, that you mentioned. I was with him right now yesterday in Portland,
Oh,
and
the one. If you had one word to characterize his voice, it would be effortless.
effortless,
Effortless. Just
exactly.
he opens his mouth and out comes just. It's just perfect,
Beauty, yeah, yeah.
and
So
it doesn't look like he's doing
you should,
anything.
yeah, yeah. You should feel that whoosh of air carrying you.
Yeah.
You should not
Yeah.
try to make it. You can do a lot more things without trying as hard. So if you take a good breath, opio, and yet just
Okay.
imitate how you speak it. Even in a study session, you don't have to sing it exactly as you're gonna
Yeah.
chant it, like full voice out there, and just relax. Okay, try to say the words opion,
Opion.
opion. Even now your E is a little
Opion.
bit too.
Opion.
Opion. The E,
Opion.
opion. Yeah. So try it now to chant it.
I need to breathe from my nose. Opion. Tus angem.
Very nice, very nice. Your E just a little bit was closed, but that's okay because it's such a short E then, and it's okay. But your O was very, very well placed, very nice. The when you went here, you strangled just a little. You just opened up a little
I
bit.
wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it. Yeah, I felt that.
So go
Yeah.
from twos.
Tus angem.
Okay. So you go to sa, that's the ah is a little bit too open.
Too open. Oh.
To match the color of the O.
Ah, okay, good.
So try.
Om tu sange. And the air should also match the same
Yeah,
color.
exactly. You need to find
Yeah.
that nice space, like in the dome, where you can the vowels they match each other and they
The
have a nice
dome, to be
quality.
clear, you're talking about.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's very, very important. So you can go through the vowels. I, O, I, O, I, O. Yeah, if it helps you to do that. For me, it helps me because it relaxes my jaw and it does not allow the jaw to chew.
I
Like,
never did that particular exercise, so I was just
yeah.
trying it out.
I, O. So, this is the
Yeah,
cardinal,
yeah,
what we
yeah.
call the cardinal vowels. A, E, I, O, U.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
And by the way, since we're on the cardinal vowels, this is something that I have stressed to my students, even not being a vocal, professional, but Greek is way easier than English
yeah,
because Greek only has the cardinal vowels.
yeah,
You notice we didn't have to really work on doing two vowels at a time. But
yeah.
what is this in English? Just think about it. He who makes his angels spirits. Okay, he who makes.
Yeah.
You hear there's just two vowels. So
Yeah, it's a diphthong.
yeah, it's a diphthong. Yeah.
So
So
keep
you have to keep the first vowel for those. But this is
yeah,
why we prefer
Meh.
Greek.
Yeah, like that.
We
And I do
prefer
this
Greek.
movement. You see, like I hold because I don't try to meh. That's a
Yeah.
meh. Utilizing the backspace that we have
Yeah.
in that area, in the as they call the oropharynx and the nasopharynx, that specific area, and how
Yeah.
you manage those and how open space you need. They all have
Yeah.
pharynx inside, so you need the pharynx.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So go from tous angelus.
Tu I should have taken a breath here,
Oh,
right?
it's
That's where you
okay. It's
take
okay.
a
You can
breath
do
during the
that too.
station.
Yeah, it's well, you can. There are many ways to do it, and there's not like a specific like. If you need to take air, just do it. Do it gratefully, gracefully. I
Graceful,
mean,
graceful, yeah.
gracefully. When you go down, don't grind it. Because it's not good to do that.
I grounded again?
No, you didn't ground it, but you let it become a little bit more white. Like you didn't match the color of the previous note. You know,
Oh, what does it mean to be white?
like it kind of like left a little bit the space you have right here to the and the space, the open space on the back, and went
Ah.
the difference.
I,
What we use a lot in operatic singing is what they call chiaroscuro, which comes like from having chiaro means like bright, scuro
yeah.
means dark, which is
Dark, yeah,
that
screen.
combination of sound. So you have always to have like a little bit of a balance between those two, because you don't want your sound to be oh, it's like or like it's all bright, you
And you
know?
hear both, right, in
Yeah,
some
that
traditional chanters.
yeah, you have to hear like most natural. The voice needs to be natural,
Well, I
and
was saying you hear like those two extremes sometimes, and it sounds like an affectation.
I hear what you gave me like as a middle and balance
Yeah,
sound, and
yeah,
then when it slips a little bit, this doesn't mean that one goes one direction or the other. It doesn't go the extremes, but I hear that there is a little bit of a difference.
yeah,
Our purpose in vocal coaching and chanting in general, you have to maintain the unity of that sound, like the
yeah,
wholeness
yeah,
of it. You know,
yeah.
still though minuscule things what I'm touching right now, because of course you chant excellently, but those details though you have to be aware.
Yeah. Well, this is what we're talking about. This is why we have this type of thing. So thank you very much.
Of
Are
course.
there, when you said white, what I was curious about was, would you label other things as different colors, or is it just the carascura, like you went more white or you meant more black, or is
I
there like
do.
green and yellow,
No,
or
no.
no, there are, okay.
No.
Sorry, these are silly questions
No,
somewhat, but
they're
I think
absolutely
there
not.
might be something that our listeners might ask too, because
Yeah,
I don't know
so
anything about that. When you said white, that's the first time I've heard that.
yeah. So
Thank you.
usually for the color of the voice, I use that like sometimes it gets a little bit more white or like it's more dark.
White and dark.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But the regarding that though, I have to say something that's very interesting. Um, some people have synesthesia. You know what's synesthesia?
It's where they perceive colors as sounds, or is it the other way
They hear
around?
the sound and it's always tunes into a specific color, like they read
Yeah,
a
yeah,
letter
yeah,
and it has a
yeah,
specific color.
yeah, yeah.
Like Mozart would say, like the E major for him was like a very yellow chord, a very tonality, the E major, and like he always, I think it was C sharp major or C minor, I don't remember right now, that had a deep red color for him.
So
That's how he
so
perceived.
Mozart had synesthesia. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's in the I think there's writings about it too, about
Okay.
that. But some people do have that. I have that too.
Oh, you
But
do. Okay.
I do have synesthesia, not on the same degree, of course, than that. Yeah.
Grayscale synesthesia.
And sometimes like it can not necessarily mean like it has to do with perfect pitch. Mozart, of course, had perfect pitch.
Yeah. He
Um,
had perfect lots of things.
he had perfect lots of
Mozart.
things indeed. He was a genius. He was a
Yeah,
prodigy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but like letters, for instance, like for me, I do sometimes perceive them, but I have to. It's not on the same degree as like they were doing it. I don't know,
Yeah.
or like in sound. It's also good for your emotions in terms of like visualizing some things that will help you have a specific sentiment that goes with it. But that's a different story. That's for a different podcast.
Yes, because we do have a very good mapping of that to why do we use certain flores in certain places,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I've actually touched on that in the podcast before, but people might have heard that and be like, oh, well, what are you talking about? And I gave some examples, but there are examples right here in this piece.
Yeah,
We won't get to them because we're doing a deep dive on this first part, and we have to
yeah,
adjourn in a little bit. But
yeah,
let's go back to. All right, so I'm trying to get this balance between
yes.
the
You
white
have
and
the
the
perfect
dark here.
vowel there. You have the
Yeah.
oo of the tus.
Ooh,
Ooh, which requires space anyway. So the tus.
doom,
Yeah. So
doom. Oh,
so
we were.
maintaining the. I'm talking about here, like
Oh,
maintaining the like
do.
into that space will
Ah,
help
I
you.
see.
You
I see.
understand what I mean? Because the tu already has space, so it's the same. And when
Yes.
you go to the it's just a tongue movement, basically. That's what it is.
Ah.
I, tu,
Ah.
so,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
I'll open my mouth. Forgive me, viewers, for looking into my mouth, but so that you can see what he's talking about. You see how the tongue moved into a slightly different position.
Yeah,
That's
even if you do it without the consonant, you'll see it even better. Yes.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
you're raising a little bit too much right now, like that. Just
That's just to show, because
yeah,
of the
just
angle
the
of the
top.
camera. But that was another thing that I wanted to point out, that in order to get to that, what did you call it again? The rear pharynx. I'm not good with the anatomy.
The oropharynx and the
Yes.
nasopharynx. Oropharynx here, the nasopharynx.
I think that's what you have to kind of like keep your head like packed on your spine. And it's this for some people.
Establish a connection. If you establish a connection,
Yeah.
even if you're like upside down, you can still find it. But you have to
Yeah.
establish the connection.
Yeah. And for many people who are kind of like constantly with
Yeah,
this
that's not
with
great.
this cell
Yeah.
phone head posture, it
Yeah.
might feel unnatural to be
Let me
packed
show you.
that way.
Let me show you something that I show to my students, which is very interesting. Like, imagine the vocal folds; they're sitting on
Yeah.
the this bottle right now. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I need to tilt my
You
camera.
it needs to be in front of you so that the zoom doesn't blur it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
imagine
yeah,
this.
yeah,
If
yeah,
I have,
yeah, 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 yeah,
so
yeah.
the same sound. I'm not changing the production. I'm not trying to make it to make it deeper. If you overdo, it hits a different part of the folds, like the like the way the folds sit. It makes it
Yeah.
oh. And also if you push a little bit, the tongue makes it even darker. But and if you go, it makes it like what I call white. Makes it like too bright.
Yeah, yeah,
Because and that's not like good balance phonation. You need to have
yeah.
a good balance phonation, which is sitting on a natural place. Okay, so we'll go from the since we did most of that,
Yeah.
go from here. Lu, that's a pa.
Lu. Lu. Soft.
Πολύ ωραία. Very nice, very nice. Do you want to keep going a little bit?
Let's do this one more pneuma, because this one has an extended epsilon,
Yeah.
and then we'll save the rest for another time if we're approved for a series.
I hope so. One thing. That here, right here. Don't make it so obvious that there is a flat there. It's just the tape.
Just
Just
yeah.
yeah. Just even if you think if you just think connecting, that will do it on its own.
Instead of just a transient little connecting
Yeah,
thing,
just
and it will
just
naturally flat the a little bit, as opposed to a
yeah,
whole,
yeah.
like what I did was
Because
a serious flat.
yeah, because if it's like a real flat, like a flat, it will probably
Yeah.
add some more lines to make it flatter.
Well, but in these classical pieces, don't they? I mean, you never see a monogamy.
Sometimes, very
Almost
rare.
very
Very rare.
rare.
Yeah, yeah.
My understanding was just based on the context, but of course the context is not that you need to be doing like a spathi type
No,
small interval.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very nice,
Okay.
very nice. If you want, I can touch up a little few more things on
Yes.
the
Yes.
Herminia, on the
Yes. Please.
but
That's a good thing, because we've done a lot of vocal, which is good, and I don't think a lot of our listeners get that. But also, I want to hear for the deep Herminia, because I know
Yes.
some of mine get a little bit repetitive in Papadiki. This is something that I'm trying to work on.
yes. So start from Pne. Use the varia here. Use the varia.
Use it. Meaning, how do you want me to use it? Like scoop into it?
Yes, the varia is kind of like the way the varia works. Yes,
Okay.
yes. You can take a breather too.
Yeah.
Because it's the
That's a
first
good
time
thing
actually
about.
you escape a little bit the basic like para para. You escape it here. So it's the
Yeah.
first time you can actually introduce the the. And
Yeah.
it starts with a the strong. And it keeps going to the the and then goes to the ke. So you have enough of room to actually think that phrase from here to here. Where's the the?
Mm-hmm.
So you can just go there and take the give it the its purpose because it's the first
Mm-hmm.
time you're gonna start like to create the right circumstances for the piece and kind of like preparing the ears for something that's
Yeah.
gonna go higher because you don't want to have the
Developing. Yeah.
dramatic stance of like going pa 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 pa.
That's it. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
A
start the
gradual
pane.
build.
Yes, yes. So, when you do syndesmos, you can do their syndesmos and omalo are kind of like a little bit of a brother and a sister here.
Yeah.
So the omalon has a little bit of a pavugadi, pana, pana. That's not
Down
based on
here.
the main body of the voice
Yeah. Yeah.
because it
It's a
creates a little bit of a tone.
laryngismos. It's a
Yes,
laryngism. How
yes.
do you say this in English?
Laryngismos. In English, I usually just ornament. Like,
An ornament. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, but there are some ornaments that are about moving the pitch, and some of them are about specifically the way that you.
Yes, yes.
Right.
They all move the pitch, but in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so the omalon looks like a hammer. That's why I say to my students sometimes, like, looks like a hammer. Imagine you're keeping it, you're just using it like you're just banging it a little bit. Pavugadi, pana, pana, see that one? The difference between the syndesmos and the omalon. One is I did the double one actually here because
Mm-hmm.
you can do there double, and then if you go to this one, that's even more obvious. This uses the main voice. Takes you back to the pa with
Yeah.
the
Here on
microdynamica
this.
microstructurally does like a little bit of a naos idea there.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is interesting to point out because I understand what you did, but for our listeners,
Yeah.
on this right before the hye, the three or four neumes right before that, there is not a qualitative character, and yet you still did a certain interpretation. Can you do that
I
again?
did a little bit of a lisma.
A little bit of a ligisma on the
What we call
kedimata.
lisma.
Yeah, yeah, what
Yeah,
you
it's
call a
the lisma.
ligisma.
It's kind of like when you see the kendimata underneath of the oligon, and you after you have like a continuous
Yeah,
upwards movement, you go. Kežake, kežake didi gaga, vugadi. Instead of doing vugadi, you go
yeah,
vugadi. You
yeah.
just for a little
On the
bit
vu beforehand, before the kendima, you do a little a little
yeah,
ligisma, a little. How do you translate ligisma? A
a
little
little bend.
lilting, a little bent, a little
Yeah, a little
bend of the
bit kind of like you
voice.
trip on a little stone of the next note.
Yeah, or maybe if you're like on a guitar, it's a little bent,
Yeah.
little bent.
Yeah, that's why it's called
Yeah,
ligma.
yeah,
And then you have to connect the idea of that K with this K before you get the first mode. Because this is kind of like 4, 5, 1. like the Roman numerals, in Western notation.
The dominant note of the
Yeah, the predominant, dominant, or the
yeah
4/5 predominant, dominant, and
yeah
tonic to
yeah
give you the idea that it's gonna go back to tonic because Ra is interconnected with Pa.
yeah
It's the part of the dominant notes of pi. But
yeah.
in Papadico, anything can be dominant here. But anyway,
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So try to do that. Connect from V to Z, and then introduce the K, and then go to Pa.
Nippon
If earlier you're tuning your K, second K was a little bit sharper.
Sharper.
Yeah, you just a little bit. That K was a little bit too high. Yeah.
What's that?
Just yes. I would add a little bit more of a crescendo here. Crescendo.
I wanted to, but I didn't have the breath. I didn't do my breath right.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
consequence
So
of not breathing right.
make sure
Yeah.
when you take a breath, make sure you take enough. Because the
Yeah.
thing is this: you have to plan a little bit ahead of the breaths. You don't have to. You just have to think that where the phrase goes. So
Yeah.
if you think that the phrase is gonna go from here to here and it's gonna go all the way to the ke, and then you have to bring the
Yeah.
ra in very,
Yeah.
very sneaky.
Sneaky, yeah. What I did, and I think this was recommended for preparing, like, the week or two, I had my packet for my certificate exam, and I actually put in all the breath marks. I put in even, measure markings in ISON to make
That's even
sure,
better. That's even
right?
better.
So this is part of practicing that, as we saw, we couldn't even correct the
Yeah,
text, so we
I
weren't
have
trying to
this.
make breath marks,
Yeah, I have this
but
friend
that's
in,
what we
in
do.
yeah, I have this friend in Portland, and we chanted together last Sunday, not this previous Sunday, the Sunday before at Saint Nectarius, Fotini down in Robinson, who I
Oh
think she
yeah,
has done the certificate, and
yeah, she has.
she said to me something. She said, Everything that makes the job done. You can do everything that makes the job done. Like
Right,
if it helps
right,
you, put it in. Don't even
yeah,
like, yeah. If it helps
yeah,
you to do the job done, to make the job
yeah.
done better.
And you can make two different packets, but I mean, I think what I did was I made the packets for my committee that had all the ISON markings and everything, and I just had the measure markings and breaths in mind. But you could give them the same thing, and they appreciate seeing that you have that attention to study, that you didn't just go in there cold and are sight reading it. You looked at the phrases and you decided, this is where I need to breathe. This is what this phrase is doing.
Of
Yeah.
course, there are other interpretations too.
Yeah.
Like you can
You
take
do open
different
yourself
things.
up to, oh, why did you use this ison here? Why did you breathe
Exactly.
here instead of there? But at least, yeah. Yeah. You're having flashbacks now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Dr. Eleftheria, this was wonderful. And honestly, even if we don't get approved, I would love to continue doing that. But
Absolutely.
we're both very busy people, so I'm not going to impress on you that. It was very nice to spend this hour and change with you, and I pray that for our listeners, this episode is edifying in a different and new way. And we hope to offer more kind of varied content also in the future and showcase our other wonderful faculty members, because as I told Dr. Eleftherios beforehand, I'm just a guy. I mean, I've been doing this, here in the United States out of the love of the game, so to speak. And I've been blessed to be able to be enrolled in the faculty, but out of all the faculty, I think I'm the least qualified. In a literal sense. I mean, I have a certificate and I have a training, but there are many others who have a lot more advanced training and experience than I do, and so I consider myself very blessed to be where I am, and I hope to continue with this educational effort and with others in the future. Dr. Eleftherios, any final words before we sign off?
Thank you so very much for having me. It was a pleasure, and I am looking forward to help with anything I can, and that's my pleasure. I really enjoy that. Thank you.
All right. Well, dear listeners, I believe, if I'm correct, this is our podcast for December. So we wish you a blessed Nativity season, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, as we say here. Καλά Χριστούγεννα και ευλογημένο το νέο έτος, με a blessed Nativity and a blessed New Year. May God be with you. Amen. Good night.